Hello, everybody. Aaron from the Ballpit here, back with another episode of the Writer's Block. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a new lawsuit that has come out regarding rapper Jay-Z. So, as I'm sure many of you are aware, especially if you've logged onto the internet any point in the last couple months, but the famous rapper and somebody who's seen around Jay-Z a lot, Sean Diddy Combs, or Puff, or whatever, was charged with a whole bunch of shit, including rape and everything along those lines. And recently, as you see from this NBC article, Sean Carter, or Jay-Z, was accused in a civil suit alongside Diddy for raping a 13-year-old girl. As you can see here, the anonymous accuser said that the assault happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards after party. I'm not going to go too far into the lawsuit itself because the federal lawsuit was originally filed in October, and I think I actually did read through this lawsuit just in my own time, personally. But it has recently been updated or whatever to include Jay-Z as part of the suit. Obviously Jay-Z is somebody who doesn't respond a lot to stuff, but he made sure to respond to this. In a statement given last Sunday, I suppose, Jay-Z called the allegations idiotic. One quote NBC provides here is, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you not agree? These alleged victims would deserve real justice if that were the case." So, one of the, obviously, social media, and especially Twitter, has exploded with this news. One of the biggest defenses that I've personally seen to Jay-Z, writing to Jay-Z's side, is this statement calling, Jay-Z calling for it to be a criminal case rather than a civil case, because their idea is, well, if you're Jay-Z, why would you open yourself up to criminal investigation unless you were 100% certain that you didn't do it and that you were to be innocent? Why would you do that? So he must be innocent because somebody who's not wouldn't do that. And I don't fully agree. Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know what happened. Obviously, I'm going to support the accuser, the person who accused them, because that's a victim right there, right? However, it is so, I'm going to support them, but I'm not going to say that Jay-Z is guilty at the same time because I don't know, right? That's not my job. However, I think that suggesting that Jay-Z is innocent because of this move doesn't exactly add up, and I'm going to tell you why. So, if you're not fully aware of how the American criminal system works, there's different legal systems for criminal versus civil matters, right? In this different system is something called the burden of proof. So, if we do burden of proof for civil matter, and we look that up, we can see the burden of proof is on the plaintiff or the person filing the suit. This next part is important. The plaintiffs must prove that their claims are more likely to be true than not. Meaning, the plaintiff must present the more convincing evidence. So, for a civil suit to come true, has to be more likely than not. So, if we're looking at this in a percentage, it has to be over a 50% chance that the plaintiff is telling the truth and giving correct evidence. Now, what if we change burden of proof civil to criminal cases? What changes that? In a criminal case, the burden of proof is on the prosecution, which is still, in this sense, plaintiff, similar to that, to prove the defendant's guilt is beyond a reasonable doubt. What does that mean? they do explain it in the next line, where it says, "This means the evidence must be so strong that there is no reasonable doubt that the defendant committed the crime." It goes on to say here that the burden of proof in criminal cases is higher than in civil cases because the consequences of a criminal conviction are more severe. In a civil case, the plaintiff only needs to prove their case by a preponderance of evidence. So, what exactly does that mean? Beyond a reasonable doubt. It means to suggest that if the defense, which in this case would be Jay-Z, is able to introduce reasonable doubt in the matter, it would get thrown out, right? So instead of the civil matter, which would be, over 50%, more than likely, it has to be beyond a reasonable doubt. And if we go back here, for a case that supposedly happened in the year 2000, which is 24 years ago now, almost 25, for somebody with the political, economic, and social power of Jay-Z and his ability to get a very strong legal team, introducing reasonable doubt may not be that difficult. Now, so let's say that they do move forward a criminal trial, and in that criminal trial, they declare Jay-Z as not guilty. What happens next? There is something in the U.S. government, the governmental system, in corrections and in the judiciary system, that is called double jeopardy. What does that mean? It means there's a legal concept that prevents someone from being tried again for the same charges. The Fifth Amendment to the U.S. Constitution's double jeopardy clause protects criminal defendants from being prosecuted twice for the same crime. Double jeopardy prevents prosecution after acquittal or conviction and multiple punishments for the same crime. So, if Jay-Z is able to make this a criminal trial, declare that there's reasonable doubt that he committed these crimes, he cannot be retried for these charges. Meaning all he has to do is introduce reasonable doubt to this thing that happened in the year 2000, and he is home free, scot-free. Of course, civil charges can still happen. The same thing that happened to OJ, where he was acquitted on criminal charges, but then lost a civil suit for a similar matter. But nobody talks about the civil suit against OJ. They talk about him winning the criminal suit. In the court of public appearance, if Jay-Z pushes for a criminal case in the way that he is, and he wins it, that is all that matters. What does not matter is a follow-up civil suit that may or may not win. People will overlook that for a multitude of reasons. Number one, because he won the criminal charges. Number two, because he is married to the Queen Bee, Beyonce Knowles. Number three, because people have a lot of nostalgic love for Jay-Z. He's routinely listed as one of the top 5 rappers in all of music history. So, I think that may, more likely than not, be one of the reasons that Jay-Z is calling for a criminal trial. Also, if we scroll down a bit in this NBC article, so something else that I think it's important to note that the original NBC article did not explain, so I had to find it. Jay-Z's lawyer in this matter asked judge to deny sexual assault accusers' request to remain anonymous, alongside the request for the trial to be criminal in nature rather than civil. And the reasoning for that is that his lawyer argued that the accuser's decision to file a lawsuit against Carter under the name Jane Doe, which is the name that you give to an anonymous person in this instance. For a male, it's John Doe. For a woman, it's Jane Doe. Was inconsistent with a genuine effort to determine the truth or falsity of these allegations, as opposed to an effort to procure a quick, extortionate settlement. was respectfully seeking either dismissal of the allegations or disclosure of the plaintiff's identity. Why? Why would you want that? Why would you want that? I think it is interesting that those are the two methods that Jay-Z is using. Pushing it to a criminal trial for the reasons I already said, and then demanding that this woman's identity be known. It'll be interesting to see how this, advances over time, and I'm sure if there's any big news that comes out, I'll create an update video on it. I just wanted to make this because I saw a lot of people just jumping to Jay-Z's defense because he's trying to push it to a criminal trial. And I don't think that they took the time to think why that may be rather than just the reasons listed, right? Is it crazy to suggest that there may be an ulterior motive to one that is listed, especially when it comes to a man that has so much power and so much to lose? I don't know. I don't think it is. You guys can let me know down in the comments below, though. Thank you guys for watching. Peace. Subscribe if you want.